The massive starship Horizon hung in the black void of space, its sleek metallic hull reflecting distant starlight. Inside the central diplomatic chamber, Hyun-Ki Park stood motionless, his hands clasped behind his back, watching the preparations for the most important first contact mission in recent human history. At 32, Hyun-Ki was younger than most diplomatic officers, but his record spoke volumes. He had studied alien communication patterns for years, specializing in nonverbal interaction and cross-species communication protocols. Today was different. Today, the celestial envoy from the Arya system would arrive, and everything would change. The chamber was a marvel of human engineering, smooth white walls with subtle holographic displays, temperature controlled to accommodate potential alien physiological requirements. Soft blue lighting created an atmosphere of calm and neutrality, designed to reduce potential tensions during first contact scenarios. Hyun-Ki wore the standard United Earth diplomatic uniform, a crisp navy blue suit with minimal insignia, representing institutional authority without appearing threatening. His dark hair was neatly combed and his posture suggested both professionalism and quiet confidence. Around him, other diplomats and scientific experts moved with calculated precision. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, the mission's lead xenobiologist, checked her equipment one last time. Technical specialists monitored complex communication systems that could translate potentially incomprehensible alien languages in real time. A low hum began to fill the chamber. Subtle vibrations indicated an incoming transmission. The holographic displays flickered, showing complex geometric patterns that suggested an advanced technological approach. "Incoming vessel detected," announced a calm, computerized voice. "Celestial. Envoy approaching docking coordinates." Hyun-Ki felt his heart rate increase slightly. Years of training prevented any visible signs of excitement or nervousness. He had prepared for this moment his entire professional career. The docking procedure was unlike anything humans had previously experienced. Instead of traditional mechanical connections, the alien vessel seemed to phase through space, creating a shimmering energy bridge that connected seamlessly with the Horizon's reception chamber. First came the sounds, a series of melodic tones that seemed to vibrate at multiple frequencies simultaneously. Then came movement. Tall, elegant figures began to materialize, their bodies defying traditional human understanding of physical form. The celestial envoy representatives were breathtaking. Their bodies appeared to be composed of living light, with skin that shifted between translucent blues and soft silvery hues. Each movement suggested both extreme grace and incredible technological sophistication. Leading the delegation was Yeon-ji, a diplomat whose presence commanded immediate attention. She stood slightly taller than the human average, her form seemingly able to adjust its precise dimensions with minimal effort. Her eyes, if they could be called eyes, were complex geometric structures that seemed to absorb and reflect information continuously. Standard greeting protocols suggested a formal bow, a measured approach, and carefully constructed initial dialogue. Hyun-Ki knew the script perfectly. He had rehearsed these moments countless times in simulation chambers. But something felt different today. Something in Yeon-ji's complex visual structure suggested a curiosity that went beyond standard diplomatic interaction. Her geometric eye structures seemed to pulse with an unusual rhythm when scanning the human delegation. Dr. Rodriguez stepped forward first, delivering the standard welcome message. Her words were simultaneously translated into the complex tonal language of the celestial envoy. Standard procedure. Completely routine. Except nothing about this moment felt routine to Hyun-Ki. The alien delegation moved with synchronized perfection, each step calculated, each gesture meaningful. They carried no visible technological devices, yet everyone understood they were processing massive amounts of information continuously. Hyun-Ki observed. He listened. He analyzed. And then, unexpectedly, something within him began to stir. A feeling that would change everything. A sensation that would challenge every known protocol of interstellar diplomacy. In that moment, surrounded by the most significant first contact mission in human history, Hyun-Ki Park realized his life was about to take an extraordinary turn. The reception hall buzzed with quiet energy. Diplomatic representatives from various departments stood in carefully maintained formations, watching the celestial envoy delegation move with impossible grace. Hyun-Ki Park remained slightly apart from the main group, his eyes focused on Yeonji. She moved differently from the other alien diplomats. Where they were rigid and calculated, she seemed to have a subtle curiosity about her surroundings. Her geometric eye structures would occasionally scan the room, pausing momentarily on random human delegates. The formal reception followed strict protocols. Soft classical music played in the background. Waitstaff moved between groups, offering delicate refreshments that were both aesthetically pleasing and scientifically designed to be universally acceptable to multiple species. Yun-Ki had spent years preparing for moments like these. He understood the complex dance of interstellar diplomacy. One wrong move could potentially damage human-alien relations for decades. Every gesture, every word was carefully calculated. But something felt different today. As Yeonji moved through the hall, Hyun-Ki noticed a unique pattern in her movements. She seemed slightly more interested. Her geometric eye structures would linger just a moment longer on certain human delegates. Not in a threatening way, but with genuine curiosity. The other human diplomats remained professional. They followed their rehearsed scripts, maintaining perfect distance and neutrality. Dr. Rodriguez was discussing complex scientific protocols with another alien representative. Others were engaged in carefully measured conversations. Hyun-Ki felt something growing inside him, a feeling that defied all his training, a spark of something unexpected. His heart began to race. His hands, normally steady, felt slightly warm. Years of diplomatic training suggested he should maintain his position, stay calm, follow protocol. But something was changing. Yeonji was now just 15 feet away. Her form seemed to shimmer slightly, adjusting to the room's ambient temperature and lighting. She was beautiful in a way that defied human understanding. Not physically attractive in a traditional sense, but compelling in her absolute otherness. One of the senior diplomats approached her, beginning a standard welcome speech. Hyun-Ki knew the script perfectly. Diplomatic niceties, careful language, respectful distance. And then, something unexpected happened. Yeonji's geometric eye structures suddenly focused directly on Hyun-Ki. Not a casual glance, a deliberate, intense observation. N.T. That moment, all his training disappeared. "Would you like to have coffee with me?" The words escaped his mouth before he could stop them. The entire hall went silent. Every single person, human and alien, turned to look at him. Dr. Rodriguez's mouth actually dropped open. The senior diplomats looked horrified. The alien delegation seemed frozen in collective shock. Yeonji's form shimmered. Her geometric eye structures pulsed with complex patterns that suggested multiple simultaneous emotions. Silence stretched. Seconds felt like hours. Hyun-Ki realized he had just potentially destroyed years of diplomatic preparation. One simple, direct question had broken every known protocol of interstellar communication. But something else was happening. Yeonji was not angry. She was not offended. Her form was doing something unexpected. She was processing. Her geometric eye structures continued to pulse. Complex information seemed to flow around her form. The other alien diplomats remained absolutely still, waiting for her response. Humans in the hall looked terrified. Some were already imagining the diplomatic disaster that might unfold. Others looked simultaneously shocked and intrigued. Hyun-Ki stood perfectly still. His heart raced, his training screamed that he had made a massive mistake. But another part of him, a part he had never acknowledged before, felt something else. Excitement, possibility, something beyond standard diplomatic interaction. Yeonji took one step forward, then another. The entire hall held its collective breath. Something extraordinary was about to happen, something that would change human-alien relations forever. And it all started with a simple, unexpected question about coffee. The silence in the diplomatic hall felt heavy, charged with unexpected tension. Hyun-Ki's unexpected invitation hung in the air like a challenge, defying every known protocol of interstellar communication. Yeonji's response came slowly. Her geometric eye structures pulsed with complex patterns, suggesting intense internal processing. The other alien diplomats remained completely still, waiting. "Your proposal is interesting," she finally responded, her translator rendering the complex alien language into simple English. Those two words sent immediate shockwaves through the human delegation. Dr. Rodriguez moved closer, her professional curiosity overwhelming her initial shock. The senior diplomats exchanged worried glances, their carefully planned first contact strategy suddenly thrown into complete uncertainty. Communication channels between Earth's diplomatic corps and the ship's central command began lighting up. Urgent messages flew back and forth, analyzing every potential implication of this unexpected interaction. Hyun-Ki remained surprisingly calm. Something about Yeonji's response suggested more than simple diplomatic courtesy. Her form seemed to adjust, becoming slightly more approachable. The alien delegation's communication protocols were legendary. They were known for their absolute precision, their ability to maintain perfect emotional distance. No species had ever managed to break through their carefully constructed social barriers. And yet here was Hyun-Ki. One human, one unexpected moment. Diplomatic channels began analyzing the interaction from every possible angle. Was this a breach of protocol? A potential security risk? Or something entirely new? Yeonji took another step forward. Her movement was fluid, almost curious. The geometric patterns around her form suggested complex emotional processing that went beyond standard diplomatic training. "Coffee," she repeated the word, her translator breaking it down into its component sounds. "A human social interaction ritual?" Hyun-Ki nodded. "Yes. A way of sharing time. Conversation." The alien diplomats around her seemed to vibrate with collective confusion. Their communication systems were working overtime, processing this completely unexpected social interaction. Dr. Rodriguez couldn't help herself. She moved closer, her scientific curiosity overwhelming her professional caution. "This is unprecedented," she whispered to a nearby technical specialist. The technical specialist was already recording everything, every movement, every sound, every subtle shift in the alien delegation's form. Yeonji's response continued to surprise everyone. Instead of rejecting the invitation or reporting a protocol breach, she seemed genuinely intrigued. "Show me this coffee ritual," she said. The word sent another wave of shock through the diplomatic hall. Senior human officials looked like they might faint. The alien delegation's communication patterns became even more complex, suggesting intense internal discussion. Hyun-Ki realized he had done something extraordinary. He had transformed a standard first contact scenario into something completely unexpected. Communication between species had always been carefully controlled, precise, calculated. But this was something different. The United Earth Diplomatic Corps communication systems were working at maximum capacity. Analysts began running complex scenarios, trying to understand the potential implications of this interaction. Yeonji's form continued to fascinate. She seemed to be learning, adapting, processing information in real time. Her geometric eye structures pulsed with an energy that suggested more than simple diplomatic curiosity. "I accept," she finally said. Those two words would be remembered for generations. The alien delegation's communication pattern suggested collective surprise. Their entire approach to first contact was being challenged by one human's unexpected directness. Hyun-Ki felt something he couldn't quite explain, a sense of connection, of possibility, something that went beyond standard diplomatic interaction. Dr. Rodriguez was already preparing her initial report. This was far more than a simple first contact scenario. This was a potential breakthrough in interspecies communication. The diplomatic hall continued to buzz with unexpected energy. Humans and aliens alike tried to process what had just happened. 1. Simple invitation. 1 unexpected response. Everything was about to change. Reports spread like wildfire across United Earth's communication networks. Within hours, Hyun-Ki Park became both a potential diplomatic hero and a potential liability. The diplomatic corps headquarters erupted in heated debates. Senior officials argued intensely. Some demanded Hyun-Ki's immediate removal from the mission. Others saw something more profound happening, a potential breakthrough in alien communication that defied traditional understanding. Yeonji's continued interactions with Hyun-Ki challenged everything known about the Celestial Envoy's communication protocols. Where their previous interactions had been strictly formal, something fundamental was changing. Their first coffee meeting happened in a carefully monitored observation room. Technical specialists watched every moment, recording micro-expressions, tracking communication patterns, analyzing potential implications. Hyun-Ki arrived wearing a simple black shirt and dark pants. Yeonji's form adjusted, creating a comfortable seating arrangement that seemed to blend human and alien design principles. 2 cups of carefully prepared coffee sat between them. "Explain this ritual," Yeonji requested, her translator rendering her complex language into simple English. Hyun-Ki smiled. "It's about connection, conversation, sharing time together." The observation team watched in fascination. No previous first contact scenario had ever looked like this. This was something entirely new. Yeonji's geometric eye structures pulsed with intense curiosity. She studied the coffee cup, analyzing its composition, its temperature, its cultural significance. Her entire approach suggested a level of genuine interest that went beyond standard diplomatic interaction. "Your species values emotional connection," she observed. "We do not." Hyun-Ki knew this was dangerous territory. One wrong word could destroy weeks of diplomatic preparation, but something inside him felt different. Honest. "Maybe that's why we're interesting to you," he responded. The observation team held their collective breath. This was not standard protocol. This was something else entirely. Reports continued to flood communication channels. United Earth's diplomatic corps was divided. Some saw potential. Others saw potential disaster. Dr. Rodriguez prepared comprehensive reports. Her scientific analysis suggested something extraordinary was happening. The Celestial Envoy's communication patterns were changing, adapting, learning. Weeks passed. Hyun-Ki and Yeonji's interactions became the most studied communication event in human history. Every moment was analyzed, recorded, discussed. The alien delegation watched their interactions with increasing complexity. Their communication system suggested collective confusion and unexpected fascination. Hyun-Ki discovered that Yeonji's species had complex emotional structures that humans had never understood. They communicated through geometric patterns, energy, shifts, complex mathematical interactions that went beyond verbal language. But something was happening. Something unexpected. Yeonji was learning human emotional complexity. She was discovering something her structured civilization rarely encountered. Spontaneous, genuine emotional expression. The diplomatic corps continued its intense debates. Was this a breakthrough or a potential security risk? Could one human's unexpected approach transform interstellar communication? Technical specialists developed new communication models. Linguistic experts created complex translation algorithms. Scientists studied every microscopic interaction. Hyun-Ki understood he was part of something extraordinary. His simple invitation had transformed from a potential diplomatic incident into something much larger, a bridge between civilizations. The observation team continued their relentless monitoring. Every conversation, every interaction, every subtle communication pattern was documented, analyzed, discussed. Yeonji's form continued to fascinate. She seemed to be learning, growing, understanding something fundamental about human emotional complexity. "Your species is unpredictable," she told Hyun-Ki during one of their meetings. He smiled. "That's what makes us interesting. The communication." Channels continued to buzz. United Earth watched. The celestial envoy observed. Something fundamental was changing. One human's unexpected courage was transforming everything, and nobody knew exactly where this would lead. Months passed. The initial shock of Hyun-Ki and Yeonji's unexpected connection transformed from a diplomatic curiosity into something much deeper. Their relationship became a symbol of possibility, challenging everything both species thought they knew about interstellar communication. United Earth's diplomatic corps underwent radical changes. Old communication protocols seemed obsolete. The rigid structures that had defined previous first contact scenarios crumbled under the weight of this new understanding. Yeonji's species began to see humans differently. No longer were they simply another developing civilization. They were complex emotional beings capable of breaking through the most sophisticated communication barriers. Hyun-Ki found himself at the center of an unprecedented cultural revolution. Scientists, diplomats, and communication experts studied every aspect of their interaction. What had begun as a simple coffee invitation had become a watershed moment in human-alien relations. The research facility became a hub of constant activity. Observation rooms were filled with experts from multiple disciplines. Linguists, anthropologists, communication specialists, and alien interaction experts worked together to understand the profound shift happening before their eyes. Yeonji's geometric communication patterns began to change. Where once they were rigid and precise, now they showed flexibility, curiosity, something close to what humans might call emotion. Her form could now express subtle nuances that previously seemed impossible. United Earth's communication protocols were completely rewritten. The old ways of diplomatic interaction seemed suddenly outdated, limited, almost primitive. Hyun-Ki became an unexpected hero, a bridge between two complex civilizations. During one of their many conversations, Yeonji shared a profound observation. "Your species does not communicate. You connect," she explained, her translator rendering the complex alien language into simple words. Hyun-Ki understood the depth of her statement. Humans were not just exchanging information. They were sharing experiences, emotions, possibilities. The celestial envoy's leadership underwent its own internal transformation. Their rigid communication structures began to soften. They started to see value in the unpredictability that humans brought to interstellar interactions. Scientific breakthroughs followed rapidly. New communication technologies emerged, inspired by the unexpected connection between Hyun-Ki and Yeonji. Translation systems became more nuanced, capable of capturing emotional subtleties that previous technologies missed. Dr. Rodriguez published groundbreaking research. Her studies showed how emotional openness could be a form of advanced communication. The scientific community was transformed overnight. On a quiet evening, Hyun-Ki and Yeonji stood together in the observation deck, watching the stars. Their forms were different, one human, one alien, but something fundamental connected them. "We are changing everything," Yeonji observed. Hyun-Ki smiled. "That's what happens when you take a chance." The facility around them hummed with energy. Researchers continued their work, understanding that they were witnessing something extraordinary. A new model of interstellar communication was being born. Reports from other alien civilizations began to arrive. They were fascinated, confused, and increasingly interested in understanding this new approach to communication. United Earth's diplomatic approach transformed completely. The old methods of careful, distant interaction gave way to something more genuine, more connected. Yeonji's species began sending more diplomatic missions. They were no longer just observing. They were learning, adapting, growing. Hyun-Ki became more than a diplomat. He became a symbol of possibility. One human's unexpected courage had changed the course of interstellar relations. The research facility became a beacon of hope. A place where different species could truly understand each other, where communication meant more than just exchanging information. As the years passed, their connection continued to inspire. Young diplomats studied their story. Scientists explored new communication models, Alien species looked at humans with newfound respect. One simple coffee invitation had transformed everything. On the observation deck, Hyun-Ki and Yeon-ji watched. The universe, two beings from different worlds, united by an unexpected connection that would change everything forever. A new understanding had been born.